Okay, more or less a test for my stream, my OBS, which I screwed up last time, just a little bit ago earlier today. Didn't realize my mic wasn't going through. Wasn't at my end, but on the OBS part, totally messed that up. All right, trying another Porsche here, but it's a little bit different. On the Nordschleife, or Nürburgring, I should say, because this is a 24-hour layout. It's got the Grand Prix in there. Even that tire pressure out a little bit. Max at 11. See, where does this go up to? Oh, 19. Okay, so that's a whole different thing. Quite a lot to work on with this car here. It's a mess. Yeah, that's way too high. I'll never be able to make any corner. We'll keep that at 80. It's a pretty high speed track. Okay, so it says it here. I had trouble in the last race. Low values, a lot more slip. That's actually what I want to do. Right. Yeah, the race I had earlier was different Porsche as a cup car. And I was pointing out a lot that I was trying to work on my consistency, and that did not play out the way I'd hoped. Struggling with the braking. So this car's got a lot more to work with, and apparently is saving the other tune in here with the same pool. So I'm gonna have to be careful about what I name it. Just leave it be for now. Yeah, 911 DT3R. So we'll just do that. Whoops. Yeah, can't type. Bumping the phone. That's weird. Every time I hit the R key, it's a space. Okay, that's fine. Be that way. Really, really confusing. Got the camera view all messed up. No damage on here. That's fine. Whoops. Well, I guess that's a relief. tad loose on the gas. Pretty well balanced. Get the little light on the rumbles in the rear. You have to work on the fast bump for that. A lot of people in this lobby though. So it's gonna be pretty good. Everybody's just coming up here for practice. Little test session, I guess. Because they don't have any restriction on the what class you drive, and it's got quite a few to pick to them. Pretty good downforce on the front end of this. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to describe when you're able to tune the car how you want it in this game. It's got a very good sense of trust that you develop with your car. Because I know where that limit is without having to pay a really dear price for it. We're going past that limit ever so often here. Rear tires are overheating. Well, not overheating, but they're building up on that temperature a lot faster than the front. And we have to work on that. Might have to soften the spring. Something simple. Just a tad stiff on the braking. So yeah, that's a clear indication right there. I got a little too much spring in the rear. Just a tad. Could be with the damping as well, so I gotta be careful about what I adjust. Getting a little off the race line. Let's see. Ducks are surprisingly really cold where the brakes are. So go ahead and chop that down a bit. Springs overall, it like barely touches and goes when it bottoms out. It's not really bottoming out that much for a track this size, so we'll soften up the rear. And fast bump, just knock that down a bit. Bring this up just for good measure to make sure it's not too unstable. And yeah, that should actually make it, since I'm running the same sway bars front and rear, it should be relatively loose at the corner entry, and it isn't. So it's definitely the springs. Radiator, haven't decided on yet. We'll leave that alone. Just feel like there's something I'm missing here. Maybe I'll push my luck, try to add a little more rake on that. Get a little more top end performance. Yeah, something like that. Let's see what we got. Hit the wall again. A little bit the same here. Big corner is very nice. Of course, I had to run off the track as I was saying that. Yeah, it's a little more stable on the exits. Yeah, front end downforce is really showing. I'm feeling that difference. Just a few millimeters. Did quite a bit. Whoops. And that's where it really doesn't feel good. I might just set the brake balance. I could also fiddle with the damping or something like that. I might be a little bit strong on the front end. Yeah, it's still kicking out a little bit. Tire pressure is also much higher in the rear. I forgot to correct that one. Getting all over the place here. Whoa. A little hyper on the bump still. I know I tried to soften the fast bump down a bit, but I didn't seem to do a whole lot because I did soften the spring. That should have been compensation right there. But I got something else going on. Might be camber related, but it was bouncing. And I was on the throttle, so it should have been fast bump, not rebound. That's going to be hard to isolate. But yeah, either way, back tires are heating up a lot. Much higher pressure. I gotta stiffen this up more. Let's see. Take that back down. Probably just soften up the sway bar altogether. Keep forgetting to check the water temperature. Maybe next time. Alright, so tires. Bring these up a bit. I don't really like doing that because I know it's just going to bring up more tire temperature, but the pressure itself is way higher when it gets hot. I gotta find a way to lighten the load on that. Let's see, so the max spring rate, okay, is right there. We're a little bit above halfway, and then, so this is also, this 19 would be that. We're a little bit on the high side for damping. And then this, I kind of want to bring that down more. Try that out. And then bring this up. That way, at least when I do hit the rumbles, the front end won't be throwing its weight to the rear so much. So it's not going to be as critical for the rear end. Theoretically. Okay. Let's see if we can do 2 laps here without screwing up. See how I compare to the second generation of GT3 cars. Tad bit stiff, but I guess that's what I was going for. Oh. Yeah, I can feel a big difference at the corner entry, so that damping really did something. Yeah, got a little anxious on the curb. Can't turn my arm that far. We're okay though. Setting kind of a crappy lap on this, but this is my out lap anyways. I want to see how close I can get to that 8-minute barrier. That's a really good lap time. That's somebody who's probably been on here all day. I might have overdone it with the damping though. I'm noticing a little bit of a pattern here. Get to thinking about it. It's like I got the front end half as high as the rear, and it shouldn't be quite that extreme. So a little overcompensation there. Whoa, buddy. Boy, that was... Okay, you can stop riding the wall. There we go. That was pretty gnarly. Yeah, I think I'll take the car in one last time and see if I can get it to sing. Kind of a rough ride right now. Question is though, do I want more top end or do I just want good grip at that high speed corners? There's a lot of high speed corners on this track. So I'm thinking just bring that back up and then add one notch on the rear wing. Also, I need to open up that brake duct just a little bit on the rear. It's getting a little hot. Yeah, I don't know what to do about them tires though. It's just crazy. I'll have to bring this down some more. Or do like a go down to the extreme with it here, see what it does. Playing around some more, I know. Playing too many things at once here. Let's see, where is it at? Got too many things going on here. I thought they used to isolate the cars for their tunes, but doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Well, we got the sector times in. Those aren't my times though. Yeah, that's my comparison anyways. If I can pull 8 minutes flat, then I know I'm rocking. But I gotta make that lap first. Kept the front rebound down pretty low so that way I can still transfer to the rear. Makes the exits a little more predictable. Oh, invalidated, huh? That's too bad. We're gonna have to watch out for that. Yeah, it's feeling really good on the exits now. It's not kicking out. Gripping pretty decent on that corner. Got a little bit of play going on though. It's not liking the bumps too much. That's something to be worked on. Every game all the developers, they always seem to have their own perspective on how fast bump should handle. So it takes a little bit of guessing, a little trial by fire, so to speak. A little bit stiff on that one. Mostly because the front rebound is lower, so it's gonna let it play around a little bit more. But still, it is predictable. That's the important thing. Really smooth right there. That was impressive. Got a nice pickup on that. Wow. Kind of came a little wide on that. But I like how I was able to respond to it. Found the sweet spot for the accelerating. Still a little hot in the rear, but it's not as bad as it was. So it's definitely an improvement there. Let's see, we got the leader, or the pole sitter, about 20 seconds ahead of me on this track, this very lap. So we'll be able to see a little comparison going on there. If I don't let myself get too distracted, knowing me. Yeah, this car's not getting along with the bumps here. Gonna take some work in progress there. Pretty smooth overall, but even on the track itself, it's feeling like it's really fighting. A little bit sloppy. I always struggle with that corner. Oops. bouncing around so much. I'm not so sure that fast bump is helping. Certainly don't have it dialed in. Yeah, that Beaver guy, he's flying right now. Gained another 15 seconds from that point. I noticed him. There ain't no touching that. I know I'm not going to get close to it, but I might as well see where I'm at on the board here. If anybody else decides to actually put in a couple of laps, might get a chance to see how it compares. A little bit loose on the brake, but it was still pretty smooth in spite of that. That was very different. I gotta remember not to go wide on this corner. Very picky about how that is on the exit. Car is getting loose. Whoops, that didn't do it. Tire pressure's building up on the rear still. Yeah, water temperature is running a little bit hot. Like a 210. Yeah, that fucked it up. Did it good there. Yeah, let's get that fast bump figured out. Thought I was gonna have a good lap in there. Get rid of this anyways. We're not really bottoming out ever, so I was gonna let it use its full length of travel there. See. Gonna be a little bit gutsy like that. Not really sure what to expect here. But I'm not liking where the fast bump is at, so we're gonna play with that some more. Whoops. Alright, let me get away with a little bit right there. Very stable right now. Well, hello. Formula One over there. Kind of weird to see Formula One in a multi-class. It's unheard of. Passed me like I was sitting still. Whoops. Back on there. Oh no, that was too much. Too aggressive on the brake there. Oh jeez. Yeah, I lifted really quick and I was still trying to turn. So I was locking up a little bit on the front. And I still have a lot of rake on the car. I went back up on that a while back. I'm gonna try to move the brake to the rear a bit more so that way it's not as sudden. Like that. That actually works. Feel a little bit jerky. It's making me a bit nervous when it does that, but I'm able to do something about it. It's interesting. Water temp's still running hot. I think I had 10% tape on that grill. So it's not a lot I can give on that. Sitting pretty close to 200, which is doable. It's feasible. It's not gonna hurt the car. Whoops. Lacking a little bit on the front end though. Thank goodness there's no damage on here. It's just a random lobby. Yeah, still got a little kick at the rear corner entry. So I'm just gonna have to live with if I want to keep that performance. It's still better than where I started. It's not overly loose. Needs to be a little bit smoother over the bumps. Whoops. Well, that was a terrible line, but I'm glad I was able to keep it together. Laid on the brakes and it was still pretty stable. So yeah, things are working out okay. I think I'll keep this tuned. Nobody else on the track for miles here. Oops. Brake temperatures are pretty cool. They peaked at, I think, about 450. So it's not really that bad. Got a full-on wheel hop in the rear. Might have something to do with the rear rebound, the fast rebound that is. But if I lower that, it's not really going to improve it much. Because that just means it'll have more preload. It'll start springing upward a little bit faster. Theoretically. Still, it's a reasonable tune. It's not bad. pretty well balanced. Getting a little aggressive. Sorry, I've been quiet for a long stretch here. Guess I'm really getting into it. And this game is fun. You keep doing laps on your own and it's still a blast. Honestly, I thought I was going to be jumping into a random lobby with some races or something, but there's always one of these going on. It's got a tune session going on for like hours in a day. It seemed like a thing to jump into. Whoa! Skipping around a bit there. So far I'm looking good. I haven't blown it. Still got a clean lap. So we'll get our moment of truth at the end of this lap. See how I compare with a bunch of randoms. We're relatively in the same class. We got some Gen 1 and Gen 2 of GT3. I'm in a Gen 1, so that's the older model. It's only by a few years, really, truth be told. I don't know what all they've changed, but it's probably just as simple as a weight ratio, power to weight ratio. But it is GT3, so they're going to be within the margin of error. Maybe it's the hybrid systems with the braking and all that. Got electric motors on the Gen 2. I think that's actually what it is. All right, see where we're at. 8:18, 19. Well, that's nothing too special there. I don't feel bad about that lap though. It's not a bad lap. I wanted to say something earlier like 8:28 sounds more like what GT3 would be. But this is a whole different game right here. I'm used to iRacing a little bit when I was looking at the lap times. But then again, I never got the GT3 on there. It was just GT4. So it's really hard to say. It's more like a blank slate here. Just a shot in the hole. Out in the open. Car feels alright. I just wish I could see a little more telemetry, see how my camber's doing. They didn't like that. Wonder if I'm able to fit in right here. Looks that way. Interesting. I've never seen a track with two pit entries to the same pit at that. This ain't no rallycross. All the other games I played, they always had it blocked off at one lane or another. All repairs, huh? Wonder what damage I caused. I don't know. Oh. Let's get out of here. Find a race to get into. Make it more exciting for ourselves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saved that tune. So get on out of here. Gosh, it gets warm in here. I don't understand. It's supposed to be like 50 degrees outside. Feels like it's 90 in here. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'd be the only guy in my neighborhood turning on my AC right now. I'm thinking about it. That's weird. It's yellow, but it's got 4 bars on that. It don't matter. It's locked. So multi-class, Nordschleife again. Looks like what I was just in. There's 2 of them right here that do that. Mixed classic races, 10 people in there. And GT1, going to Spa of all things. See what I can drive. Oh yeah. Maybe Nissan? I don't know. This is going to be hard to decide on. I haven't driven any of these in so long. I think I drove a Porsche at one point. Let's pick the Mercedes. I remember they had a nice sounding motor in there. Let's do the yellow. Yellow belly sapsucker. I can only spectate from here. Well, let's hope they do another race right after this. I don't know why I'm always getting 1 bar. I don't know what that means in ping rate. But so far, everybody looks a little bit jittery on this game, just a little bit, but not anything serious. So it's pretty good net coding. Just really bad filtering as far as going through your player list. They don't do a lot of matchmaking. Developers are pretty new on that, I guess. They've been going through a lot of changes on their game as it is. So to be fair, it's gone through a lot of major strides recently. Leaps and bounds. No car audio. What's up with that, guys? Let's go trackside here. A little bit strange. Well, we got collisions. No sound off of the tires or the cars. I might be glitched out. I got a little background noise. Oh well. Whoa, what was that? Somebody smacked him good. I guess this ain't gonna be a good lobby. Got rage police tonight. Watch it from this guy's point of view. Or somewhere. There's somebody got lapped, I think is what's going on there. So we just jump around. Navarro. Yeah, those guys are in order. Bad Mother. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit glitched out. Tachometer isn't working quite right. Yeah, they're pretty spread out, so not everybody was able to get practice in there. Whoa, now we got sound. Just took that long to update. So I'm guessing there's no damage when you're running like that. I don't know how long this race is gonna be. Oh, wait, 19 minutes? Yeah, I might be better off just finding another lobby then. I don't know. Get me something to drink real quick. I'll be back. Time out for that. Okay, I'm back. Doesn't look like it's working out too well for this guy, does it? First he gained a little and then he lost big. Find somebody else to watch. Oh, I guess he was still in third. Maybe it's everybody else around him that screwed up. They're all kind of by themselves here. Getting to think though, these guys aren't going to be in the mood to race again after this long of a race, so it's probably going to be over. Probably shouldn't bother. Yeah, we might as well see if there's other races going on. Just getting started. If we're lucky, they'll give us it like 15, 20 minutes to practice, warm up to it. Yeah, that's something else that happened. Last time I tried to lobby hop on here, there was like no practice, like 3 minutes of qualifying, and then that was it. Couldn't even tune your car fast enough. And I didn't have enough fuel in my tank. That really ticked me off. Well, GT2, Montreal. I don't think I even know that track. 7 minutes remaining. Yeah, what the heck? Let's just jump in there and see. Oh, I don't know if I want to drive that car, but okay. What do we got? Race settings. It doesn't tell you what. Oh, it's racing right now, so yeah. Let's see, backup. I guess it has to go all the way back. A little bit weird, a little bit wonky. I might just get off. Yeah, that or jump onto a different game. Yeah, it'd be great if I can get more of my own friends on here. That'd be a blast. I don't know what the mini thing is. What car is that? As soon as it loads. Oh, yeah, I didn't think so. I'm not a Cooper fan. Sorry, guys. No fucking way. Not partial to front wheel drive to start with. I'm not gonna be driving that thing. The Copa Classics. I have no idea what the hell that is. No, as soon as it changes. Oh, McLaren. That's not bad. Yeah, let's do the. Okay, as soon as it lets me, it's not loading very well. Find something that I haven't driven in a while. Maybe Mercedes. You know, let's do Audi. They've been getting my attention here recently. They don't seem all that bad. Do the lime green. Why not? You know, I gotta see what the weight ratio is on that. 50-50. Oh, okay. Jeez. Wrong car though. Where is it? There we go. And this one's a 45.5. That's not bad. Oh, apparently I'm just starting in here. I didn't know I said start. I guess that's fine how that worked out. Custom event. Don't know if I got a chance to practice because it's throwing me in here. But at least I know the track fairly well. See how it goes. And it's loading still. Not frozen, but it's sort of taking a sweet time here. I must be having trouble with other players getting synchronized. And action. All right, we seem to be having trouble here. I'm gonna Alt Tab out. Take a look at Task Manager, see what Windows is trying to do to screw up my day. EA's running in the background. Xbox app, that's what I thought. Oh, I heard a noise. I think the game's running finally. Let's close this out and get back in the game. Nope, still nada. Go figure. Well, I just don't know what to do. Might have to end it here. Didn't even get to drive yet. God darn it. Oh well. It's still pretty fun. Anybody's watching this, definitely get the game. Definitely gotta find some time to jump on there. Between me and all my friends, though, it's like none of us are actually on here at the same time. And that's if they ever get on. I haven't talked to them in a long time. I haven't talked to anybody. Yeah, it's pretty much froze. My system isn't frozen, but the game just is not responding, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stop it. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining, whoever you might be. Catch you all later.